Know the game, know the game, know the game. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can join the notification game and never miss an upload. What's up, players? It's IDOLWILD here, and today we're going to talk about zones. We don't have a scheme video today, I don't have a MUT video. We're going to talk about zones, specifically two different zones, the hook curl and the vert hook. So those are the two zones that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to show you guys where they're found and how you get to them just real quick, and pretty much their basic principles. So we're going to come out and level sales. So vert hooks are normally found in Tampa 2 or cover 2 plays, and then hook curls are normally found stock in cover 3. So you're going to see here we got hook curls by the two linebackers Ogletree and Godson here. But if we were to audible to a cover 2, now the outside linebackers are in vert hooks. So if you want to play around with these hook zones, what I would do is I would come out in the cover 2, because you cannot audible to a vert hook in most situations. Most of the time you can audible to a hook curl. So I will come out in the vert hooks, I will come out in the cover 2, and then you can play around and look at the zones here. So I'm just going to tell you the main difference between them two right now, and then we can get into practicing with them. So the main difference between a hook curl and the vert hook is that the vert hook will play a step or two deeper and a step or two more to the outside. So it's going to play a corner route a little bit tighter and a little bit longer to the outside than the hook curl will. And the hook curl is the opposite. The hook curl will play a step or two shorter and a step or two closer to the inside. So it may guard a slant a little bit better, it may guard an in route a little bit better, a post route a little bit better. But if you want better inside coverage, just by a step or two, you want to go with hook curls. If you want better outside coverage, just by a step or two, you want vert hook. So I'm going to show it to you right here. So just look at the natural drop. Ogletree is in a vert hook. Look at his drop when he goes ahead and drops to the outside. He goes to the outside, shades the corner a little bit, and then he comes down. So now let's look at the drop of a hook curl. So now we got Ogletree in the hook curl. It looks like it's close to the same zone, right? But look at the way he drops. He drops to the inside, and now he's not even playing that outside as tough as he was before. So let's go ahead and throw that corner out and look at that corner out just to see how long or how close he plays it. So what I would do here is I would baseline shade. I'm shading over top right now, and I'm gonna put the outside corner in a hard flat just so we can take a look at Gronkowski only. I really only want that vert hook go ahead and covering Gronkowski. So you see here he's covering, and he's not covering anymore, and then we can throw the ball. So let's go ahead and try to get like a little landmark to see where we go ahead and see where that vert hook stopped playing it. So we get to the vert hook right here. So let's go ahead and play the route. He stops right here. So this is right where he stops covering it. So he stops covering it when the tight end has started in the middle of the number. So remember that landmark. When the tight end gets to the middle of the numbers, that's when the vert hook will stop playing him. So that's when you can throw the ball after he gets past the numbers, at least in this situation. So now let's go ahead and run the same setup. We got to play it over top with the hook curl. Now we got the hook curl out there. Maybe we got we got the right setup in. Okay, so I'm doing a couple adjustments because I just want to make sure it's right. So now we playing over top. We got the same thing. So now let's go ahead and wait for the hook curl. All right, so now let's go look at the play again. Let's look at the remember the landmark from the last one. When the tight end got to the middle of the numbers, that's when the the vert hook stopped playing it. So let's go ahead and roll the tape, roll it again. So you see here, this is where he broke. Look, he broke here. So let's go right here. So remember the middle of the numbers versus here. Now they're inside the number. So this hook curl broke sooner. It's not a whole lot. It's a couple of steps. 1, 2, 3, like 2.5 steps earlier, but that's how much farther the vert hook is going to play to the outside. And that's the main difference between these two. The vert hook is going to play a 2.5 steps deeper and more to the outside, and the hook curl is going to play that same 2.5 steps closer to the inside. So those are the two that you want to keep in mind. So you want to guard corner routes a little bit closer, you go ahead and play with the vert hook. If you want to play a little bit shorter, so let's go ahead and flip this play. I'm going to show you the difference between, now we got this level sales play where we got these multiple in routes. So the vert hook was all in good when we were running the first play, when we were trying to cover the corner route. But let's see how the vert hook does against these in routes real quick. Let me move this middle linebacker out the way. Wait, hold on. Got to get on the right controller. Let's get on the middle linebacker. Let's move him out the way because we just want to look at the vert hook's behavior. It was good on the inside routes. So the circle route is open now. And eventually the triangle came open, which is the deep in route. So it didn't really play the in routes that well. Let's go ahead and look at it one more time. I was getting cracked. I got sacked fast, but let's take a look. Hold on, let's make sure that we're in the vert hook. We're in the vert hook. So let's look at the vert hook. Okay, the short end route is open, both of the short end routes, and then eventually the deep end route came open. So let's go ahead and take a look at the same route with the vert hook. So we got the vert hook out there. Let's go ahead and move this middle linebacker out the way. Come on, let's go. All right. I guess you don't want to go out there. Come on, player. All right. Now we got the play coming out. Let's go ahead and look at the hook curl. He's covering that a little bit. You see how he played closer to the inside? I shouldn't even have to replay it, but we're gonna run it back one more time just so you guys can take notice of it. But you see how the hook curl played the inside breaking routes a little bit better than the vert hook did. And so that's how normally I would think about using them. I would use the hook curl to help me guard the inside routes and the vert hook to help me guard the out breaking routes. We got the hook curl set up. Let's go ahead and call this play again. Look at the hook curl. He's gonna shadow that a little bit and then shadow, like you throw any of those routes, you got a safety right there. He can break on any of those routes as opposed to the vert hook where they didn't really play the insides. I got one more thing to show you, and that's with post routes. So here we are in the Pats bunch. You see that post route by Dorsett over here. We're gonna take a look at the behavior of these zones by, hold on, let's go take a look at the behavior of these zones as how they operate against that post route. So I'm controlling him. We have a vert hook out there. Let's go ahead and run the play. Let's see, look at the drop. He drops to the outside. He covers a little bit, and then he doesn't really cover it that far deep into the middle of the field. So let's go ahead and look at that in the instant replay. It was actually pretty decent coverage. You couldn't throw that route at the soon as it hit the break, but it eventually got open over the middle a little bit better. So he took a little like a 45-degree angle, jumped to his landmark. He covered up the initial part of the post, but then he didn't follow it. He didn't even make an attempt to shade it a little bit on the inside. So now we're going to go ahead and drop it to the hook curl. I almost flipped the play. So I just want to go ahead and show you guys that real quick. Now we're going to drop into a hook curl. The only change we made is the change to the zone. Go ahead and snap the ball. You see how the hook curl plays the post route way farther to the inside. So with the vert hook, you couldn't throw it at the beginning, but then the hook curl covers it a little bit closer to the middle of the field. So those are the two main, that's the main takeaway. You want to take away the outside just by a little bit, go ahead and play the vert hook. You want to play the inside a little bit better, play the hook curl. You see here, by this point right here, the vert hook had already let this route go ahead. So I mean, that's the main difference. One more thing, they both, if you shade underneath, they both play drags really well. So you see here, we got a drag here, you got a vert hook here, you shade underneath, they're both gonna play drags pretty decently. Actually, I lied about that. The vert hooks doesn't play drags that well. Let's go ahead and play a hook curl real quick. We got a hook curl there. I thought it was both of them. It depends on the formation. Some formations they play the same, but it looks like against this bunch, really only the hook curl plays it pretty well. So I would experiment that against the different offenses you're facing, because it's too many offenses out there for me to go ahead and go against every single one of them. Actually, I can go against one more. Let's go against that trip. Let's go against trips tight end real quick. Thought I was ending the video, but I figured I'd just go ahead and drop one more on you guys real quick. Go ahead and go into my cover 2. So now we got vert hooks out here. We're shading underneath. I just like experimenting and testing out these zones real quick. So let's put Fowler on the drag real quick, and let's throw this drag and see what happens. So the vert hook was there pretty quick. You remember in the Pats, in the gun bunch, it didn't play that drag that well, but there it played it pretty well. Now let's go into a hook curl and shade underneath. So they react differently to this specific route, or to some routes differently in different formations. But in general, the general word about them is that vert hooks will play outside, hook curls will play inside. You see, hook curl played a little bit better there, so hook curl's a little bit better for drags. But I mean, that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate you guys showing up. If you learned something new about zones today, let me know by hitting that like button. I mean, once again, just in conclusion, at the end of this video, vert hooks play a little bit better deeper into the outside. hook curls play a little bit better, shorter into the inside. Appreciate you guys showing up. I'm out.